Tell me I'm not a genius. I would also like to say that I feel like every game is a role-playing game. I also think it's kind of a puzzle game. I also think it's kind of a dating game. I also think it's kind of a talky-talk game. All right, cuties, the most important time is here. It's time for Pocky's opinion, okay? It is time for Pocky to change the world. It's time for Pocky to reorganize the way we see games, okay? Because let's be honest. What are MMOs? What is that? Wrong. JRPGs versus RPGs? Wrong. What is a role-playing game? All of it? Wrong. All of it. You know what's not wrong? My opinion. Why? Because my opinion is the best opinion and the only opinion that matters. So, today, before we start gaming, we're gonna go through Pocky's new game genres, okay? I would like everybody in chat, if you have a favorite game, please tell me what your favorite game is, and I am going to create new game genres. Is VTubing just another RPG? Yes. Bastion. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna put all the logos. Bastion or Tunic. Okay. I'm gonna write out the list while you guys are having ideas. Tunic. Death Stranding. I don't know what that is. Outer Wilds. Sekiro. Okay, there we go. Monster Hunter Wilds. Fable. I don't know this game. Among Us. All right, here we go. Okay, so these are the ones that you guys have said so far. Okay, this will be the list that I add on to. Okay, so we've got Bastion, Tunic. I know Tunic. Immediately off the bat. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys little shapes. Shapes. Not that shape. I want this shape. Yeah, fuck you, circle. All right, here we go. Here we go. What we're gonna do? Puzzle games. That's a good genre. Everybody knows what a puzzle game is. There is no confusion about what a puzzle game is. So we can keep puzzle games. I think puzzle games are an okay genre. And I think Tunic fits within puzzle games. You know, I think Tunic is a great puzzle-y game. Okay, I liked Tunic. I was really bad at it, but I liked it. What else do we have? We've got Bastion. I haven't fully finished Bastion yet, but let's see. Takashi's Challenge. Okay, hang on. Until Dawn. Takashi's Challenge. I don't know what that is. Okay, Bastion. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put Bastion yet. I'm going to keep that as like an option. Isn't that a show? I don't know. Don't ask me questions. What do I know? All right. Here we go. We got puzzle games. What else do we have? I think what is another good genre? You know what? Hang on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start using some of the games that I know of that I think are silly goofy that are listed where they are listed. Okay? What was the one with the stuff? Yeah. Okay. I don't know what is considered an RPG game. I don't understand what an RPG game is. I'm very confused as to what makes an RPG game because in my head, it stands for role-playing game, right? Are you not role-playing in every game that you do? Are you not role-playing in every game that you do? Levels, experience, random battles? Fuck that. We're getting rid of all of that. What we're going to call it now is dating sims with stories, with fighting. That is its own genre. And that is where Fire Emblem Three Houses will go. Fire Emblem Three Houses is a dating sim with fighting. You know what else is considered a dating game plus fighting? Hades. Hades, dating game, dating sim with fighting. There's nothing wrong. I would call them a fighting game. We could call it a fighting game, and then some with dating, some without. That could be a subgenre, okay? With dating. And then without dating, all right? This is a subgenre of the fighting game because I think that fighting games being only Super Smash Bros. Or whatever is dumb. I'm fighting here. Am I not? But not every RPG has dating. I'm not saying every RPG would go in here. You know, I'm just saying dating game with fighting, that's called IRL, real. I think, okay, you know what? I'll keep the term role-playing game. I'll keep role-playing games, okay? But you know what's going in here? You know what's going in here? I'll tell you what's going in here. You know what is a role-playing game, in my opinion? TCG Shop Simulator. TCG Shop Simulator. How is that not a role-playing game? How is that not role-playing? You're role-playing. You're role-playing. What is the difference between simulation and role-playing? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's dumb. I think it's silly goofy that we call other games role-playing games, but not that one. Overcooked. Overcooked? Overcooked. Well, where would I put Overcooked? Roblox has role plays? Ooh. Okay. I'm trying to think. If Overcooked was just a single player game, because I think any genre can have co-op, obviously, right? Obviously a fighting game, Overcooked, you're fighting for your lives. You know what? That is very valid. I like that. All right. You know what else is a role-playing game, in my opinion? Thief Simulator. I know it says simulator, but I don't think there's any difference. I know they say simulator. I don't understand. Oh, why? Wait, why does it keep doing that? There we go. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Does that mean Persona is RPG Inception? I haven't played Persona enough, so I'm gonna go with I don't know. I don't know. All right. Oh, I got another one. Pew Pew games. Okay. You know what goes in Pew Pew game? I'll tell you what goes in Pew Pew game. Valorant. Valorant is a Pew Pew game. Valorant is a Pew Pew game. Okay? And Marvel Rivals are Pew Pew games. I don't think we should call them shooters because I think there's a lot of games where you have shooters, you know? Bastion is a Pew Pew game? No, because you have other weapons that are not just Pew Pew. Well, I guess you could make the same claim that in Rivals you also have other things that are not just Pew Pew. That's a good point. I'll change my mind. Team fighting games, where you're fighting via a team. Pew Pew games, those are Christian games, right? Yes, totally. Totally, yes. Overwatch would also be. Yes, Overwatch would also be. Overwatch would also go into a team fighting game, okay? Okay, am I wrong? No, I'm not. You know what else would go into a team fighting game? Actually, no, I lied. I don't think that would go into a... Okay, hang on. Let me think. Hey, I'm gonna go into my Steam. What do I have in my Steam? Where would Honey Pop go? I think Honey Pop would go into a puzzle game, but under like a different genre with like match 3. You know what I mean? Because you could claim it's a puzzle. I guess it kind of depends on what you mean. You know, I think there should be a genre, talk games. You know what would go in here? Ace Attorney. Why? Because most of what you're doing is talking. You as a character are talking. Who needs roguelikes and rogue whatever the fuck everybody keeps calling them? Because I don't understand the difference between roguelike and roguelite. I don't understand the difference. So we're just going to call them many deaths. Same story. Same story, different deaths. That's what I'm going to call it. So you could claim that Hades is also same story, different deaths. Same non-story even for most of them. What do you mean? I feel like you could also claim that Hades is same story, different deaths. You know, there can be crossover. That's okay. You know, there's crossover over genres. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Would Triple Z fall under fighting game? I think we can just call them gamble your money games. I think that's a good one. Most of the time, roguelikes have a very non-story. Hades is very important exception. Oh, okay. We've got Uncle Chop's Rocket Shop, which, by the way, I did check my Steam. I have 20 hours in it already. 20 hours in it already. We need an anti-Pocky genre. You're so right. You are so right. I'm making that right now. Genshin Impact. That is a gamble your money away game. Okay. We're going to call these a don't waste your money games, aka anti-Pocky. These games are games that you should not buy. I'm kidding. You should support artists and game developers and everything. However, there are certain games that hurt my feelings and make me cry, and they will go in there. Difference with roguelites is that with every run, you might upgrade something permanently for every other run. For true roguelikes, you start every run from 0, you upgrade nothing. So what's the difference between that and just playing a game over and over again? Does that mean you could claim... Hang on. Does that mean you could claim that Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy is a roguelike? New Game Plus? No. What I mean is like when you play a game and you die, you restart, right? So, or is it like you would start from the first level? Like, and that's a true roguelike. Like you have to do everything one go. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Same story, different deaths, Nier series? I didn't play Nier, so I don't know. I think we need another one. Hang on. We're gonna add a different one. We've got puzzle games. We're gonna have another one. And this is where we will put this. Oh, actually, no. Getting Over It is a don't waste your money game, aka very anti-Pocky. I shouldn't say that. Anti-Pocky game. Games Pocky don't like, or cried during, or was scared during. Yeah, there we go. This is less of a genre and more of a important note, you know? An amazing genre. Yeah, I agree. So any horror game, yes. All horror games go here. Fuck that game. We need a new genre. What is... Okay, hang on. I'm gonna go through my Steam. Let me see. What else do we have? We've got... Ooh, I know. Get Lost game. You know what goes in here? Any fucking open world game. Any fucking open world game. Elden Ring. That's what's gonna go there. Elden Ring. Okay? Because fuck you, Elden Ring. Fuck you. I got so lost every single fucking day. Every time I tried to play Elden Ring, I got lost. Every fucking time. Sekiro. I don't know what that... Hang on. Silent Hill 2 is definitely a puzzle game. It could never be anything else. Yes, this is true. Sekiro. Let me look. What is this? Let me read about it. Let me read. I'm reading. Shinobi, who embarks on a quest to rescue his lord, becomes embroiled into a conflict for Ashina's fate. The gameplay is focused on stealth, exploration, combat, with particular emphasis on boss battles. Okay. Dark Souls series. Yeah, that sounds like a Get Lost game. Okay. I think all horror games go into the anti-Pocky games. I think Bastion could be a fighting game. I think if Hades is a fighting game, so is Bastion. You know what I mean? Bastion, I think, is a fighting game. Because I think it's silly that we have quote-unquote fighting games, okay? But I fight in Bastion. We are defining fighting games in the most literal sense. I see, yes! Because I think it's silly that I thought the game we were gonna play in a little bit was a fighting game, and it turns out it's not! You wanna ever believe what Pocky thought was a fighting game? Lethal Company is therefore a fighting game because you use the guns to fight monsters. No, Lethal Company, I think Lethal Company is a hang on, team versus NPCs? No. What's the best way to put it? Versing games. Player versus environment? Oh, well, I'm gonna put versing the game, okay? Or collab game. Yeah, that's where Among Us, or not Among Us, that's where Lethal Company would go. Okay? Because I think it's dumb. I also think that game is very anti-Pocky, so that could also go, see, it knows exactly where it's supposed to go. Versing the games roll off the tongue better. I got you. Lethal Company is a fighting game because you fight with your allies with stop signs. No! Curious as where you would put me side? I know exactly where I would put me side. What do you mean? Oh, she's already there. Yeah, it's an anti-Pocky game. Wander Song? I think that's a talkie talk game. Could also be considered a puzzle game, you know, because there are some puzzles in it. But I think talkie talk game, I think that kind of, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having a talkie talk game. More like a singy sing game. That's true. More like sings. Sings at all time. DDLC is a talkie game. That's true. DDLC is a talkie talk game. Paper Mario. Where would I put Paper Mario? I feel like Paper Mario is kind of a puzzle game. I feel like that's kind of a puzzle game. But you also fight people. So I feel like maybe, because one could argue that versus games are like the same thing as fighting games. You could argue that it's a fighting game. Interesting. Halo? I guess it depends on what version of Halo you're playing, but I feel like Halo is a fighty fight game, you know? Bread and Fred? Let's say, I think Bread and Fred is a nicer version of Getting Over It. I would put it, see, I feel like that would be a versus game. You know? I think maybe that's the difference between a versus game and a fighting game, you know? Because you're not fighting anything. You're just trying to make it up, you know? You know what I mean? Genital jousting. I think genital jousting, party game. Genital jousting is a party game. Dig a hole? Where would dig a hole be? House flipper 2. Let's make another one. What do you call it? Oh, what's the word? I want to call it a satisfying game, but I feel like that sounds weird. That sounds weird, you know? I feel like if I put satisfying game, that's odd. I don't know how else to say it though. Like it's satisfying in the sense that like almost like a comfy, satisfied game. Satisfied game. Love Ghosty? That's a dating game. We need one section for dating games, where your premise is mostly date, you know. And you could make the argument that it's kind of a talk game, you know, but I think it focuses more on the dating part, you know, dating games. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Anyways, don't worry about it. I think Justice Sucks could be a fighting game. That was a fun game. I liked that game. Fall Guys, that's a party game. We all know that. Fall Guys is a party game. Poppy's Playtime, an anti-Pocky game. That's an anti-Pocky game if I ever did see one. Lil Kitty Big City? I feel like that was I feel like you could say it's almost a puzzle game. Alien Isolation, anti-Pocky game. Is this a list of games you've already played? Yeah, I'm just like looking through, because I use Canva to make my schedules. Well, when I, make schedules. So I'm just like going through what logos I have, you know? Goat Simulator? It's a role-playing game, obviously. Super Mario RPG? I know it says RPG, but don't let it fool you. That is a fighting game. That is a fighting game. Don't let it fool you. That is a fighting game. Baldur's Gate? Fighting game. You are fighting something. Therefore, it is fight game. Fortnite? Team fighting. Titanfall 2? Great game. Amazing game. One of my favorite fucking games. I think that's a fighting game. I feel like that's a fighting game, you know? I feel like that's not wrong. Yeah, Hades 2 is a dating game. No, Hades 2 is a fighting game with a dating game addition. It is a dating game with fighting also, you know? Frog Detective? You could claim that's a puzzle game. You could also claim that is a talkie talk game. I feel like Frog Detective is both a talkie talk game and a puzzle game. You know, but I'm leaning towards talkie talk. VR chat? That's a date. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Valorant? A dating game? No, I'm kidding. VR chat? I guess you could claim, I feel like, both role-playing and party game. Golf with Friends? Party game and a fighting game. Or no, actually, party game as well as a team fighting game. Untitled Goose Game? That could be a puzzle game, or that could be a role-playing game. Depends on the way you see it. Are you role-playing as a goose? Or are you solving puzzles? Or is it both? Surprise, bitches. Tell me this isn't a genius. Tell me I'm not a genius. Unpacking, comfy, satisfied game. We love to see it. Tangled by Tentacles would be a dating game. I mean, yeah, I guess. I guess you could put like a dating games / relationship games. Lotto Knots? Lotto Knots, I feel like, is a satisfied game, comfy, satisfied game. But I also feel like there's another genre of like caretaking game, because you're taking care of the lottos. You know what I mean? Doomsday Paradise, obviously a dating game. However, also a fighting game. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that my opinion is not absolutely correct, okay? Balatro? That's a versus game. Also a card game, obviously, but versus game. You could even claim, well, I guess not really. I was gonna say you could even claim it's the same story, different deaths, but I think maybe not, because there's not really an overarching story. At least not that I've noticed. What else we got? I should stop scrolling through my uploads. I feel like I've uploaded other photos here that I probably should not be posting there. Death Stranding. Okay, let me see. What is this? Death Stranding. What is this game that you guys suggested to me? Death Stranding. Okay, let's see. Tell me about this game. From legendary game creator Hideo Kojima comes a genre-defying experience, now expanded in this definitive director's cut. As Sam Bridges, your mission is to deliver hope to humanity by connecting the last survivors of a decimated America. Can you reunite the shattered world one step at a time? That really didn't tell me anything about what this game was. So what do you do? I'm like looking at the photos of the gameplay. Is it a shooty shoot game? Are you fighting people? It looks like you're fighting people. All right. You deliver packages? I see. All right. Death Stranding. I'm gonna put Death Stranding a walking simulator. I'm crying. Death Stranding. I feel like fighting game, but also a get lost game because apparently it's open world. I would also like to say that I feel like every game is a role-playing game. I feel like every game is a role-playing game, and every other genre is a subset of that. You know what I mean? What do you do when you play as a game? When you explain a game to somebody, you go, oh, you're playing as an astronaut, playing as Mario. You're role-playing. If I told you that I was gonna fuck you as a teacher, that's role-playing. I mean, if you're not a teacher, if it's not like, oh, you are the teacher or a teacher and you're fucking your husband, but you are also part of your identity is a teacher. What about indie games? I feel like indie games can just be in. I feel like indie games is a good genre because I don't think that I don't get confused as to what an indie game. Well, actually, no, I do. If you just tell me if it's an indie game, I'll be like, okay, idle, not indie. Oh, like clicker games? Or like, I think hang on. Clicker / no brain cells needed. Because then you can just play. You know what I mean? That's where that would go in my opinion. You know, because you don't have to pay attention to it, you know? You don't need that. You don't need them brain cells. You don't need that. What do you need them for? Huh? You don't need them. Okay, Outer Wilds. Let me go look at this. What is Outer Wilds? Outer Wilds. I don't know so many games. I learned so much from you guys. Outer Wilds. Okay, let's see. What is this? You are the newest recruit of Outer Wilds Adventures, a fledgling space program searching for answers in a strange, constantly evolving solar system. Okay. Still doesn't really tell me what it is. Check your oxygen levels, get ready to venture into space. Use a variety of unique gadgets to probe your surroundings, track down mysterious signals, decipher ancient alien writing, and roast the perfect marshmallow. Yeah, that sounds like a get lost game. I'm sorry. That sounds like I would 1000% just get lost. You should play it sometime. Will I cry? Is it a scary game? Will I bawl my eyes out? Will I be scared? Will I be spoopy? Will I be spooped? Will I be? Not scary? I don't know if I trust you. I don't know if I believe you. Unless you think space is scary. I am scared of the unknown and like spoopy stuff, you know? I think there's some water stuff to it. Oh, okay, then I can't play it. I'm scared of the water. Okay, Monster Hunter Wilds. I think it's a fighting game. I think Monster Hunter Wilds, that's a fighting game. You're fighting. But also a get lost game, you know? Fable. Okay, I gotta go look at this game that somebody suggested. Okay, hang on. Fabule, if you will. Fabula. Fable Anniversary? Is that the one? Actually, you know what? Also, I think that's a role-playing game. But again, I think like every game is a role-playing game. You know what I mean? Okay, let me see. Forge a hero based on your actions. Age and evolve a hero or villain through the actions you choose and the path you follow, be it good, evil, or in between. Build your living legend. Through deeds and actions, build a name for yourself across the land, recruit allies and followers, gain glory or notoriety. Who will you be? Okay, just based off of that explanation, that sounds like a get lost game. I don't know if it actually is, but it sounds like it is. It also kind of sounds like a fighting game. Yeah, it's the most RPG game that ever RPG'd. Oh, well, yeah. So it's a role-playing game. Okay. Among Us, if you will. Among Us. Among Us is a party game, obviously. Not surprised there. You could claim a fighting game, but I don't know if I would. I feel like fighting game is when both parties can fight things, you know? And I feel like Among Us, one of you doesn't get the chance to fight back. You know what I mean? Until Dawn. Okay. Until Dawn, first and foremost, is an anti-Pocky game because I know that game is scary. Why? Because I watched Markiplier play it because I could never play it myself. I also think it's kind of a puzzle game. I also think it's kind of a dating game because you're dating a lot of people. I also think it's kind of a talky-talk game, you know? You do a lot of talking. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see. Takashi's Challenge. I can't find this. What is this? Takashi's Challenge? Oh, here we go. Oh, this looks sad. Oh. Centered on a salaryman who seeks a treasure on a remote island in the South Seas. Has been negatively received in retrospect due to its unreasonable gameplay requirements that are difficult to clear without foresight. Oh, I can't figure out what this is. Apparently, you're often attacked by hostile Yakuza, so I feel like that makes it a fighting game. Yeah, I'm gonna go with fighting game. Have we done Sly Cooper yet? What's that? These are obviously not all of the genres, but at the end of the day, what matters is this, okay? What matters is this. Okay, let me tell you the true rules of what matters, okay? Rule 1, every game is a role-playing game. Every game. I don't care what anybody says. You are playing a game as something other than yourself because you are not doing that thing. Unless it's like, you know, well, even VR chat, you're playing as a version of yourself, you know? Okay, rule 2, this is not a final list. Obviously, there's others. Rule 3, there is overlap, okay? There is overlap between genres, okay? And finally, but most importantly, the last thing we need to remember while we are looking at these, okay? Most important rule that supersedes literally everything else. Pocket is always right. Pocket is always right. Even when you think that Pocket isn't right, Pocket is always right. Pocket is always right. That's the most important rule. So, these are our new game genres. Fuck anybody who says otherwise. Even when Pocky's wrong, she's right. Exactly. Don't doubt Pocket. I'm so big brain. You know? I'm big brain. Anyways, I just wanted to try that out with y'all because I was really annoyed today. Okay, let me tell you guys why. Let me tell you guys why. Because I was planning what we could do today. All right, I was planning what we could play today, trying to figure out, you know, what is the vibe? What could I do today? And so then I remembered, oh, one of the games that I bought was this really cool game that in which you are fighting things. So I was like, oh, it's a fighter game. And then my mods were like, Tekken? Smash? And I was like, what? And I was like, no. And they were like, what game? And I was like, huh? And I was like, is this not a fighting game? A game in which you are fighting things? When you are fighting things? Is that not a fighting game? If I play a game where I am fighting zombies, that's not a fighting game? And they were like, no, Pocky, no, that's not a fighting game. And I was like, what do you mean? So let me show you, okay? Let me show you just what game I thought was a fighting game, even though I don't understand why it's not. I don't understand why this game is not listed as a fighting game. What makes this game not a fighting game? What is the difference between fighting games and fighting games where you are playing as a cute little cheerleader who kills zombies?